Spendthrift Farm stallions. First 2-year-olds on the track by Golden Sense, Cross Traffic, It's My Lucky Day, Can the Man, and Shaking It Up, including Golden Sense's stakes winner Pickett, a dominant 9-length winner in the $75,000 DS Shine Young Futurity at Evangeline. Spendthrift, the Breeders' Farm.
Hi everybody and welcome to Spa Babies, presented by Spendthrift. I'm Dan Illman along with Nicole Russo, and let's take a look at the field for Wednesday's Spa Baby race, kicking off the 50-cent pick 4. We're going 5.5 furlongs on the turf for 2-year-olds, and Spendthrift is represented by a main track only entrant. As you'll see, the number 9 Achilles Warrior is by Spendthrift stallion Warrior's Reward. We've got a little bit of everything in this race, Nicole. A couple of experienced horses, a couple of well-bred first-time starters. The 5.5 furlongs could be tricky for some.
Yeah, definitely. I know when I was looking at this field, I saw a few horses in here with bloodlines on the sire sides particularly that made me think, gee, these are horses to circle when they get a chance at a little more distance down the line.
We'll take the fielding post position order, beginning with the number 1 Fake Solution, one of 2 colts in here by First Crop Stallion Real Solution. And Real Solution, one of those sires you mentioned. It seemed like on the racetrack he really wanted a distance of ground.
Yeah, definitely. And that is a thing that I'm watching about his first crop. I would expect them to want to go a little bit longer. Real Solution, of course, winner of the Arlington Million and some other route events, a son of Kitten's Joy, and of course his progeny do better going longer. This one, Fake Solution, has got some ability on the bottom side of the family. You see horses like 5 Star Day down there that where there's a little bit of speed added, but I do expect the Real Solutions to want to go a little longer.
I agree. The dam did win a couple of sprints, and she has foaled a debut and first turf winner named Legend of the Kitten, who is by Real Solutions sire Kitten's Joy, but this one's going to have to extricate himself from an intimidating inside post position. I just think he might want a little bit more ground. The number 3 is Party with Friends, more of a sprinty pedigree here. This is the full brother to the stakes-winning turf sprinter Going to Cucaro. He is also a half to a synthetic stakes-placed router that was a first turf winner. The horse sold well as a yearling. There is class on the bottom of the pedigree, and this horse has some experience in an off-the-turf race.
Yeah, definitely. And I do think they would obviously like to get on turf. The turf intent is there. His second dam is the grade 1 winning dirt router Jeannie Jones, who was a very good juvenile, finished second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, third in the Starlet, which is also a grade 1 event. So there's definitely some class in this female family.
And our ace clocking team, led by Mike Welsh, noted that the August the 16th workout, the most recent one for Party with Friends, in company with an older horse named Frontier Market. Now that horse is capable of running buyer speed figures in the high 80s. Again, an older, established horse. Prep Party with Friends will improve second time out for trainer Chad Brown. We'll move on to the number 4, Real Money. This is the second colt in the race by that first crop stallion Real Solution. He is a 3/4 brother to Noble Beauty, who is a graded stakes winning turf router who won the career debut, and Adorable Miss, a debut winner and a multiple stakes winning turf router. This horse sold for a whole lot of money earlier this year after breezing 2 furlongs in 21-2. Perhaps he has a little bit more speed than the usual Real Solutions.
Perhaps, which is really interesting to me. I see Real Solution, and I see obviously those 2 routers we just mentioned, Noble Beauty and Adorable Miss, and I would definitely think this one would want longer. But when a horse breezes a quarter and breezes that quickly going a quarter at the 2-year-old sales, I generally take them as an early developing type who's ready to return on that big investment that you make in a 2-year-old. So perhaps this one is going to be ready to fire early, despite what the pedigree might say.
The number 5, Halliday, finished ahead of Party with Friends in that off-the-turf maiden special weight at Saratoga on July the 28th, but he is certainly bred for turf success, being a full brother to the 94 Beyer Turf Sprint winner War of Ideas, this one by the turf-loving classy stallion Warfront. The dam was a multiple graded stakes winner going long on the turf, and this is dirt on the dirt, and this is the family of Breeders' Stakes winner Lodge Hill, so there's a lot of stamina on the bottom of the pedigree, but it's nice to know the dam has thrown that fast War of Ideas.
Yeah, definitely. And the dam, despite what she did on the track, she's really I've seen her in person when she went through the sale ring, and she's really built like a quicker horse, very compact, very well muscled. She's built like that. So I'm wondering what kind of build that she has put on Halliday by, as you mentioned, Warfront, an outstanding 2-year-old sire and turf sire. Halliday, a weakening third on debut after setting the pace in that off the turf maiden, definitely wants turf and might settle more with a start under his belt.
I agree. I like the fact that he did show speed in that debut. And again, our clocking crew noted on August the 10th, the first workout after the debut, went in company with Driven by Thunder, an older horse that won an off-the-turf race for Todd Pletcher. Right after that workout with a big Beyer speed figure, Halliday, an extremely logical contender. The number 6 Gearhead is a first-time starter by City Zip, who wins 16% of the time with 2-year-old first-time starters. Also a very good turf stallion. Interesting that you've got the speed of City Zip on top and a lot of stamina on the bottom. This unraced dam is a half to Fast Falcon, who was third in the Travers Stakes, and this is the family of Pool Land, who was a Grade 1 stakes winner going long on the dirt.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, this is a very interesting combination in the pedigree. The City Zips do a little bit of everything. I mean, he's sired multiple champions who are turf routers, dirt sprinters. He's had good turf sprinters, good 2-year-olds out there. So they do a bit of everything, but there's so much dirt on the bottom side of the family. I wonder if Gearhead is going to do better on a different surface later on.
Watch the board for this one. Jose Ortiz takes the mount for trainer Michael Trombetta. This is a Live Oak homebred. The number 7 is Agoli, going out for trainer Wesley Ward. We expect the Ward 2-year-olds to be fast. This horse, I think, was actually featured in an edition of our Keeneland Babies. Scratched, has been away for a while, but she is a half to the 2-year-old stakes winning dirt sprinter Silver Tony, a $160,000 yearling by this very solid quality road. The dam was a debut winner. She was Grade 3 stakes place sprinting on turf at 2. This is a great Phipps family of Easy Now and Easy Goer and Relaxing. And Egoli, I'm not worried about a filly taking on the boys as it pertains to Wesley Ward.
Yeah, I'm really not. And, at this point of the year, I'm still not concerned about it. I think that, the Colts and fillies, maybe you start to, notice it a little more and worry about it a little more as we get into the fall and some of these other races. But in the spring and summer, I think an early developing filly, definitely it's not a concern for me taking on the boys. Quality Road is known more for his dirt horses, of course, like Champion Abel Tasman and others out there. But he's sired good turf horses like Hootenanny, who of course was such a good 2-year-old. Samasachi, we mentioned the dam, a good 2-year-old for Clear Sky Farm. And of course, I've said before, when I see this program in the breeder line, I always take note.
And Wesley Ward, an absolute guru with these kind of horses, as you see with the formulator fact. Over the past year at Saratoga, with 2-year-old first-time starters in maiden special weight turf sprints, he's won 3 of 6 with a $4.93 return on investment. We'll move on to the number 8 Vehement. This is a Claiborne homebred from a classy Claiborne family. Obviously classy. The dam, a full sister to Breeders' Cup Classic winner Blame, but this dam has also thrown a Grade 3 stakes place turf sprinter in Vigor, also by that solid stallion Warfront. This is just a nice pedigree, top and bottom. You always wonder with the Bill Mott trained 2-year-olds if they need a race, but this horse has a pedigree for turf.
Absolutely. And, Blame himself has turned out to be an outstanding turf sire with some winners even in group company in Europe. So definite turf ability on both sides. Warfront on top, obviously. Terrific Claiborne family on both sides. And, Bill Mott has had some good 2-year-old runners and even debut runners at Saratoga this summer. So I'm not, I'm still approaching his first-time starters with a little bit of a grain of salt based on all of the history, but he's really having a nice meet with some of these 2-year-olds.
The 9 Achilles Warrior by Spendthrift Stallion Warrior's Reward is entered main track only, so we'll move on to the number 10 Stroll Daddy, who split Halliday and Party with Friends in that off-the-turf race on July the 28th. This horse is certainly bred for turf. His sire Stroll was a very good turf horse for Bill Mott, and this dam has already thrown a first turf winner named She's All Skeet, who was a winner at 2. The Dam was also very precocious, a stakes-winning dirt sprinter at 2 and a debut winner. So there's a lot of turf, there's a lot of speed in this family. Joe Sharp has done very, very well at this meet. This horse might be a bit of a surprise, 4-1 on the morning line.
Yeah, and I think he's very much eligible to move forward off that maiden that you mentioned, coming out of the same race as some others in here. He hesitated at the break and probably lost all chance there. You would have to think that perhaps, having had the experience under his belt, that, he'll be a little more ready when the gates open this time.
And Joe Sharp, a very positive formulator fact we were able to dig up over the past 2 years with 2-year-old second-time starters moving from turf to dirt, 30% winners and a big ROI of almost $8. We kick off the 50-cent Pick 4 at the Spa on Wednesday with our Spa Babies event presented by Spendthrift. Where are you going to go?
I'm going to go with 2 of those typical 2-year-old trainers that we talk about and look at Halliday for Pletcher and Igoli for Wesley Ward. As I said, Halliday, I think, eligible to move forward off that good debut by good turf sire Warfront, is definitely going to want this surface. And like I said, might settle a little bit more with the experience under his belt. And, Igoli, as we mentioned, from such a nice family on both sides, and might be sitting on go after having to scratch early on for Wesley Ward.
I think Party with Friends is going to do better getting to the turf. Certainly bred for that surface. They wanted to get on it. He got washed off for Chad Brown. We always say experience counts in these maiden races for 2-year-olds. My single race picks would be 3, 5, 10, and 8. From a Pick 4 standpoint, without watching the board or getting a look at the horses in the paddock, I would use Party with Friends and Halliday as my A's if I was playing a ticket maker Pick 4, and my B's would be the 10 Stroll Daddy, who you mentioned should certainly improve with a race under his girth, and the first-time starter, the 8 Vehement, is so well bred that I want to use him as well in the Pick 4. It's Wednesday's Spa Baby race presented by Spendthrift Farm with an approximate post time of 2:06 Eastern. Good luck.